Honor killings deals mostly is a women rights issue in Pakistan, and although you have a number of men that are victims of honor killings, but it's mainly a women rights issue because it emanates from the conduct of women. Honor crimes cover a lot of aspects of rights issues and cover a lot of acts that fall under honor crimes, from acid burning to imprisonment, unlawful confinement, and the most classic form is honor killing. It's where a crime is committed in case where a man feels that his honor has been tarnished by the sexual transgression of the women in his family. So it's a control of the male population of women sexual behavior, and then and usually it's covered under the crimes of passion or the provocation, where a woman's sexual transgression provokes his honor that he has to commit a violent act. A lot of cases go unreported because they're dealt at the tribal level and by tribunals at the local level. Customary law and tradition apply. But a lot of cases now get reported in the court. So it's a classic murder case that goes on. But like in any system, previously there was a defense available. Self-defense is a defense, etc. So provocation was the defense used in this case. Now, provocation in classic criminal justice systems is grave and sudden provocation. But in Pakistan, it's sort of been adjusted a little bit, where even if it's a premeditated murder that sort of involves, it's not on the spot killing, but a planned murder, provocation was used as a defense for this, where the mitigation of sentences took place. So while it's a cold-blooded murder, which should be liable to maximum punishment, which is life imprisonment or a death sentence, it would actually, the sentence would be mitigated, a lot of time served already would count for that, and basically the man would go scot-free. You see, it's a social problem as well, where the role of women is viewed as a certain way and the role of the men in the family is viewed in a certain way. Now, in Pakistan, the situation has been aggravated by the courts actually supporting that social structure rather than going for a very fundamental rights aspect. We have seen a change in some very recent, very few judgments in which the courts have taken a proactive role and talked about fundamental rights of the victim and the right to life especially. So, and as I was telling you earlier, the legal system or the laws itself are also very discriminatory. So there has to be a change both at the legislative level as well as an accountability of the judiciary and the law enforcement agencies, because we've seen very often that the police and the local administration are actually part of the problem rather than helping the victims or helping them get away, are the ones that actually go looking for women who exercise their rights to bring them back to the family to become victims of honor killings. So I think it has to be an overall structure where an accountability or a training of the justice system needs to take place. As far as bringing other disciplines in it, initially, if you look at the post-colonial or the colonial era, these laws were in place then also, and provocation was used as a defense for honor killing. So it's not we've had an Islamization process in Pakistan in the late 70s and the early 80s, and people have this perception that it emanates from an Islamic tradition, these honor killings, but that's not true. It's a very traditional, very South Asian, and then it obviously permeates into, happens in the Middle East as well. But it has nothing to do with religion. And I think that's where the religious scholars can play a very important role by coming out and sort of openly condemning this practice and saying that there is no legal, no religious justification for it. And then, of course, because it's a social problem, I think the educational sector can move in, where not only women are told about their rights, but the male population is also sort of trained to think of women as equals and not as someone they can control.